Okay, I would say 5.7 is review from other sections that we have seen throughout the year. So basically, we are graphing quadratics. Remember, a quadratic function is a U-shaped function, and we're transforming them. Again, this is the standard form of a quadratic, and this is the vertex form of a quadratic. So we're going to learn about standard and vertex. I'll go back to the screen in a minute, but we're going to go through the first part. How do you go from standard form to vertex form? How do you go from standard form to vertex form? So let's look at the standard one more time. Standard is ax squared plus bx plus c. Vertex is y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k, where h and k are the vertex. And we get the a from here. That's where we're going to get the a from. So basically, on the first problem, they want to go from standard form to vertex form, so we need to find the vertex. So you're going to do a negative b over 2a. So a negative 8 over 4 ends up being a negative 2. And then you put a negative 2 in for all the x's. 8 take away 6, negative 8 take away 16 is a negative 8. This makes a negative 11. So we are done. We're going to write this. Here's the vertex form. Y equals a x minus h squared plus k. And this stands for the vertex, the h, and the k. And our a comes from right there. So it's going to go y equals, in place of a, we're going to put 2. You're going to put an x minus a negative 2, which is really x plus 2 squared, minus 11. And this is the vertex form of this. Okay, let's do another one. I wrote down the steps too, if you want to follow the steps, but if you want to put it into vertex form, the first thing you want to do is find the vertex. So you want to do a negative b over 2a, and a negative b is a negative 2 over 2, which ends up being a negative 1. A negative 1 squared plus 2 times a negative 1 plus 5. 1 take away 2 plus 5 is 4. Okay, so I had to find the y using your answer, which I found it. The a is given already. The a is an imaginary 1. And now we just have to write it into vertex form. So the final answer is y equals, the a is 1, x plus 1 squared, because the h is a negative 1, plus 4. Final answer. Okay, the next part is graphing, which you already did in chapter 2. So this is just a review section. Remember where the negative 2 is located? It's located inside, so it's going to move it side to side. You guys remember this from chapter 2? This is going to move it up or down. And this makes it wider. And that's what this green stuff was right here. If a is negative, it's going to flip the graph. If a is positive, it's going to keep it upright. If a is a fraction, it's going to widen it. If a is a whole number, it makes it skinnier. So we're just going to graph it. A negative 2 means to go to the right 2 and up 5. And then you're going to make it wider. I went to the right 2 and up 5, and I made it wider. One more. I like to rewrite it as a negative 2x to the second minus 3. I like my y on the left side. Again, we're just going to graph it. Notice that there's no parentheses, so the negative 3 means up or down because it's not inside of anything. So you're going to move it down 3. You are not going to move it up or down because there's no parentheses. It is going to flip it, and it's going to be skinnier. Flip it and skinnier. Final answer. And the last part of the assignment, given the graph, write the equation in vertex form. And the vertex form is a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. So, they're going to give you 2 points. They're going to give you the vertex, and they're going to give you a point. This point is x and this point is y. Okay, this is specifically called the vertex. I'm not going to give it an x and a y. I'm going to give this one specifically the h and the k for this problem. So you know the x, you know the y, you know the h, and you know the k. And the only letter that's left is the letter A, so we have to find the letter A. So in place of the y, I'm going to put 2. We're going to find A. In place of x, we're going to put a -5. In place of h, we're going to do a negative of a -3 squared, and then plus 6. So 2 equals a parentheses squared plus 6. A -5 plus 3 is a -2 squared. So now it's going to look like 2 equals a parentheses 4 plus 6. But in math, we don't write it as a4. We write it as 4a plus 6. Subtract 6 to both sides. We get a -4 equals 4a. So a must equal a -1. And that would make sense because a needs to be a negative number because my parabola is facing down. I'm not done. It says to write an equation in vertex form. So my final answer is this. Y equals a -1 parentheses x plus 3 squared, because my vertex, remember, my vertex is a -3, 6, and that's why it's a +3 plus 6. Final answer. You don't want to plug the x and the y in because you need an equation for the third part of today's assignment.